Okay, y'all, in this video, we're going to continue to read the Book of Jubilees. I left off on chapter 15, so we're going to keep going from 15. It's 50 chapters total, if I remember right, and we're just going to keep reading. I actually got the microphone in front of me today. I didn't screw that up. But anyway, we're going to finish reading this, most high willing. Also, I'm going to be experimenting with some new things, and I'm still on StreamYard because they renewed my hours for this month, so I got 20 hours for free. So I'm gonna use it. So, but I do want to experiment with some other services. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. By the way, I've been wanting to share a lot more with y'all than just Jasher and Jubilees. I've seen some questions I got to answer. I'm preparing to get this together. I'm gonna just go through my YouTube channel and find some questions and answer it in the future. I think that'd be a smart way to do it. Just go and pick out certain questions and then answer later on. Because trying to find all these questions on the spot is kind of difficult. I can't go through all the comments and answer everything like live that easy. So it'd be smart to do it that way. And I've been wanting to talk to y'all about some other stuff. There's been some crazy stuff going on. Um, Not all with me, but just that I find out or just want to share. And it's been blessings and stuff that I've been wanting to share too. Just haven't shared it. How much time we got? 1 minute. So I'll just say this real quick and get into the video. For some reason, I feel a little sleepy now. I don't know why. I feel a little sleepy. But I was able to get a deal on my taxes. I got to pay taxes. And I thought it was going to be like 8,000, but it's like 3,000 something. So that's pretty good. So that's a blessing. So I'll get that out the way. And I'm going to experiment with this right here because I finally got the comments to show up properly down here at the bottom. It wouldn't do this before. I don't know why, but I'm a rookie. So, and I see Leon just posted a comment, but now your comment isn't showing up. So I guess I got to hit show for each comment. Like, wow, that's interesting. It just won't show it on its own. That's weird. That is so weird. But anyway, I'm gonna keep working with this and see what happens. So Leon, I'm gonna get to you. Let me see what Amina Coleman. She's probably not even here now. um, that was kind of unique that she was able to even leave this before I even started the live. But it says Hallelujah. Oops, sorry. Halal Yahuwah actually, and then it says Happy Feast Day and Shabbat Shalom. That's what she said. And then we have Leon. Leon said, what do you think of Jubilee chapter 6, verse 38 through 41? Well, I'm not looking at it, and I did see your comment earlier, but that would be like going into answering questions, um, which I kind of don't want to do right now. I would rather wait and then like get this in a video full of answering questions or something like that. Or maybe like in the video towards the end, maybe I could do it like that. But I have read that chapter before. So I'll tell you what, I'll try to get that question in later and we'll just get into Jubilees right now. But you can go ahead and tell me what you think, Leon. And then that way I'll know where you're at with it. And then I can like answer your question later on. Most I willing. Now, how do I? Oh, it's already showing. Okay, it's already there. Okay, nah, that's too small. There we go. I think maybe the words need to be a little bit bigger. I think these words are good. Let's see. I'm trying to see what it looks like to y'all. That's kind of decent. Hmm. Hold on. I can see it fine. Oh, it's on 200, so yeah, that should be good. How high can I go? I'm just experiment. Oh, we can only go to 500. Okay. Well, I mean, these words are super big. Wow. That's interesting right there. Wow. That looks real good to y'all. Okay, okay. Um, Leon, are you still here? I don't even know if you're still here. Who's all with me? Okay, we're on chapter 15 in Jubilees. Okay, I got my smoothie. Let me drink some real quick. Here we go. I'm gonna see how this go with these big letters. This is the highest, well, the biggest I ever made these words. 300 times zoom. All right, it says, and in the 5th year of the 4th week of this jubilee, in the 3rd month, in the middle of the month, Abram celebrated the feast of the first fruits. Here we go. We're talking about the feast that you was asking about. Maybe not exactly the one you was asking about, but then it goes on to say, oh, wait. Somebody else asked me about feasts. I don't know if it was you, Leon. But Abram celebrated the feast of the first fruits of the grain harvest, and he offered new offerings on the altar, the first fruits of the produce to the Lord, an heifer and a goat and a sheep on the altar as a burnt sacrifice to the Lord. Their fruit offerings and their drink offerings he offered upon the altar with frankincense. And the Lord appeared to Abram, and he said to him, I am God Almighty. Approve yourself before me and be you perfect. Okay, Genesis 17:1, cross reference. And I will make my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him and said, behold, my ordinance is with you, and you shall be the father of many nations. Neither shall your name any more be called Abram, but your name henceforth, even forever, shall be Abraham. For the father of many nations have I made you, and I will make you very great, and I will make you into nations, and kings shall um, come forth from you. That's what I left out. Okay, and then it says, and I shall establish my covenant between me and your seed after you, throughout their generations for an eternal covenant, so that I may be a God to you and to your seed after you. And I will give to you and to your seed after you. I wonder why they put those little things in between it. Like, I don't know what they call them, but these little signs right here, I don't know why they did that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But it says, and I will give to you and to your seed after you the land where you have been a sojourner, the land of Canaan, that you may possess it forever. And I will be their God. And the Lord said to Abraham, as for you, do you keep my covenant? And there's no and, I'm sorry. You and your seed after you, and circumcise you every male among you, and circumcise your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of an eternal covenant between me and you. And the child on the 8th day you shall circumcise, every male throughout your generations, him that is born in the house, or whom you have bought with money from any stranger, whom you have acquired, who is not of your seed. He that is born in your house shall surely be circumcised, and those whom you have bought with money shall be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an eternal ordinance. And the uncircumcised male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin on the 8th day, that soul shall be cut off from his people, for he has broken my covenant. And God said to Abraham, as for Sarai your wife, her name shall no more be called Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her and give you a seed, well, a son, by her. And I will bless him, and he shall become a nation, and kings of nations shall proceed from him. And Abraham fell on his face and rejoiced and said in his heart, shall a son be born to him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bring forth? And Abraham said to God, oh, that Ishmael, oh, that Ishmael might live before you. And God said, yeah, and Sarah also shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him, an everlasting covenant for his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, also I have heard you, and behold, I will bless him, and make him great, and multiply him exceedingly. and he shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear with you in these days, in the next year. And he left off speaking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham did according as God had said to him, and he took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and whom he had bought with his money, every male in his house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin. And on the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and all the men of the house, and those born in the house, and all those whom he had brought with money from the children of the stranger were circumcised with him. This law is for all generations forever, and there is no circumcision of days. Did I say that right? Yes, circumcision of days, of the days, and no omission of one day out of the 8 days. For it is an eternal ordinance ordained and written on the heavenly tablets. I thought that's what they was going to say, but I couldn't see it. And everyone that is born of the flesh, well, everyone that is born, the flesh of whose foreskin is not circumcised on the 8th day belongs not to the children of the covenant which the Lord made with Abraham, but to the children of destruction, nor is there moreover any sign on him that he is the Lord's, but he is destined to be destroyed and slain from the earth, and to be rooted out of the earth. For he has broken the covenant of the Lord our God. For all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification have been have been so created from the day of their creation. And before the angels of the presence and the angels of sanctification, he have sanctified Israel, that they should be with him and with his holy angels. And do you command the children of Israel, and let them observe the sign of this covenant for their generations as an eternal ordinance, and they will not be rooted out of the land. Well, they were still rooted out of the land. But anyway, just saying. Um, so I guess that didn't matter. I'm just saying, like 100%, it didn't matter because they still got rooted out of the land. But let's keep going. So it says, verse 29, it says, "For the command is ordained for a covenant, that they should observe it forever among the children of Israel. For Ishmael," wait a minute, just read that again. 29. "For the command is ordained for a covenant, that they should observe it forever among the children of Israel. For Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau," nobody talks, well, they don't talk about them like that, Esau and Ishmael, but not in this way. But let's keep going. Then it says, "The Lord did not cause to approach him." Let me read this whole thing again. 30. "For Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau, the Lord did not cause to approach him, and he chose them not, because they are the children of Abraham, because he knew them, but he chose Israel to be his people." Okay. But Ishmael was still circumcised though. So I get it, but Ishmael was still circumcised. So I wonder, was Esau? Hmm I don't know. He probably was. Anyway, let's keep going. 31. "And he sanctified it and gathered it from amongst all the children of men. For there are many nations and many peoples, and all are his. And over all hath he placed spirits in authority to lead them astray from him. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit, for he alone is their ruler. And he will preserve them and require them at the hand of his angels and his spirits, and at the hand of all his powers, in order that he may preserve them and bless them, and that they may be his, and he may be theirs from henceforth forever. That's a deep one about fighting demons. And now I announce to you that the children of Israel will not keep true to this ordinance. Just saying. I already knew that. But then he goes on to say, and they will not circumcise their sons according to this law. Now I didn't know that part, but I did know they didn't listen to the Most High. That's how they were still rooted out of the land. But let's keep going. And then it says, for in the flesh of their circumcision they will not omit this circumcision of their sons, and all of them sons of Beliar, which is another name of the devil, will leave their sons uncircumcised as they were born. And there will be great wrath from the Lord against the children of Israel, because they have forsaken his covenant and turned aside from his word, and provoked and blasphemed, inasmuch as they do not observe the ordinance of this law. Maybe another definition of blaspheme right there. Then it says, for they have treated their members like the Gentiles, so that they may be removed and rooted out of the land. And there will no more be pardon or forgiveness to them, so that there should be forgiveness and pardon for all the sin of this eternal era. Okay, I think that was chapter 15. Let's see. I think we're on 16. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're on 16. Okay, yeah, I see Leon commented something else. I'm here. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Um, Give me a moment. I ain't have a smoothie in like maybe a week or two, so it's good that I got one. Okay. Chapter 16, verse 1. And on the new moon of the 4th month, we appeared to Abraham now, at the oak of Mamre, and we talked with him, and we announced to him that a son would be given to him by Sarah his wife. And Sarah laughed, for she heard that we had spoken these words with Abraham. And we admonished her, and she became afraid and denied that she had laughed on account of the words. And we told her the name of her son, as his name is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets, Isaac. Isaac in Hebrew can mean laughter. And this is interesting because when I researched this, if you read the whole context from Genesis and this right here, it's saying that when those angels came down and told Abraham that you will have a son in about a year's time and all that information, Sarah laughed in the tent. And they was like, why did she laugh? And Sarah said, no, I didn't laugh, or something like that, right? And I think they all spoke at the same time and said, no, you did laugh. And then it's interesting because Sarah laughed at this, and maybe she did it because she was so old and thought, yeah, right, I ain't having no kid in no year or whatever. Maybe she just didn't believe it, right? So anyway, whatever the case was, she laughed. And then when we look at, well, I don't know if any of y'all did it, but I'll just say when I looked at the Hebrew definition for Isaac, and it meant laughter. I'm gonna try to get some info on it real quick for you, Isaac. And I'll just share the Strong's number with you because I'm not gonna share the screen. I'm just okay. So it's H3485. Wait, that's somebody else. Hold on. That's Issachar, not Isaac. The ninth son of Jacob. Yeah, I thought so. I just want Isaac. I don't know why they gave me this. Excuse me. Am I might have spelled it wrong. I did. Okay, okay. So it's H3327 and H3446. I didn't know it was two, but it's two of them. Now H two, H3327 can mean, this is the outline of biblical usage. I'm on blueletterbible.org, and it says it can mean he laughs. And when you come to the Strong's definition, it says laughter. And when you just research the word, you know, it can mean laughter. So this was interesting because when you read the context of what was going on, Sarah laughed and everything. And when I read the definition of it, it said he laughs. So I'm like, who's the he? The Most High? Because he's the one that said that's what his name will be. And I remember in the context of the story, Sarah was the one laughing. But I was curious, like, okay, even though Sarah laughed, well, who is he? Because it says he laughs. I'm like, maybe the Most High. Like, maybe the Most High got the last laugh. Like, okay, yeah, you laughing at me now, Sarah, but when all this comes to pass, who's gonna be laughing last? I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. But now it could mean my laughter, possibly instead of he laughs or my laughs, but I just say laughter. And in the Lashawan Kadesh Hebrew that a lot of us know, where it has all the A sounds and I sounds, that name in that Hebrew can be Yatsachak. And that's what I named my dog, if y'all remember my dog. And the reason that I called him that was because he made me laugh a lot. I felt like the Most High allowed him to be in my life to make me laugh. So I called him Isaac in Hebrew. That's why y'all used to hear me say Yachts for short. Yachts and Chalk. That was his Hebrew name. He used to make me laugh all the time. You can go back and look at some of his videos online. He probably made you laugh. That's just what he did. Funny dog. So anyway, that's that a little bit of information about that. And however you interpret it or understand it, that's how you understand it. But I just found it interesting that Sarah laughed. Her her son was her son name was Laughter. And maybe it was because Sarah laughed. Like, okay, you think it's funny. Okay, well you gonna call him Laughter because you laughed at me when I told you that you're gonna have a son. But I don't know. I'm just saying. Now let's keep going. So I think we was on verse 4. Maybe I think we passed that one actually. I'll just read verse 3 and keep going. It says, and we told her the name of her son, and his name is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets, Isaac. And when we returned to her at a set time, she would have conceived a son. And a matter of fact, she didn't even name him this. Abraham named him that. I think I might have to go and look at it in Genesis, but I think Abraham was the one who named him that. Let's see, Genesis 17:19 says, and God said, Sarah, your wife, shall bear you a son indeed, and you shall call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Verse 21. Oh, it's in Genesis 21:3. It says, and Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. Yeah, so Abraham named him, but they already knew what the name was going to be anyway. But, you know, so yeah, interesting. I'm just looking at stuff. Okay, okay. So let me go back to Jubilees. All right, so verse 5. And in this month, the Lord executed his judgments on Sodom and Gomorrah and Zeboim and all the region of the Jordan. And he burned them with fire and brimstone, and destroyed them unto this day. Okay, Sodom and Gomorrah. Even as I have declared to you all their works, that they are wicked and sinners exceedingly, and that they defile themselves and commit fornication in their flesh, and work uncleanness on the earth. And in like manner, God will execute judgment on the places where they have done according to the uncleanness of the Sodomites, like to the judgment of Sodom. But Lot we saved, for God remembered Abraham and sent him out from amongst the midst, from the midst of the overthrow. And he and his daughters committed sin on the earth, such as had not been on the earth since the days of Adam till his time. For the man lay with his daughters. Okay. And behold, it was commanded and engraven concerning all his seed on the heavenly tablets to remove them and root them out. Wow. Dang, okay. And to execute judgment on them like the judgment of Sodom, and to leave no seed of the man on earth on the day of condemnation. And in this month, Abraham moved from Hebron and departed and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur in the mountains of Gera. And in the middle of the 5th month, he moved from thence and dwelt at the well of the oath. And in the middle of the 6th month, the Lord visited Sarah and did to her as he had spoken, and she conceived, and she bare a son in the 3rd month. And in the middle of the month, at the time of which the Lord had spoken to Abraham now, on the festival of the first fruits of the harvest, Isaac was born. And Abraham circumcised his son on the 8th day. He was the first that was circumcised according to the covenant which is ordained forever. And in the 6th year of the 4th week, we came to Abraham to the well of the oath, and we appeared to him as as we had told Sarah that we should return to her, and she would have conceived a son. And we returned in the 7th month and found Sarah with child before us, and we blessed him, and we announced to him all the things which had been decreed concerning him, that he should not die till he should beget 6 sons more, and should see them before he died. But that in Isaac should his name and seed be called, and that all the seed of his sons should be Gentiles, okay, and be reckoned with the Gentiles. But from the sons of Isaac, one should become a holy seed, and should not be reckoned among the Gentiles, for he should become the portion of the Most High. And all his seed had fallen into the possession of God, that it should be to the Lord a people for his possession above all nations, that that it should become a nation and priest and a holy nation. And we went our way, and we announced to Sarah all that we had told him, and they both rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And he built there an altar to the Lord who had delivered him, and who was making him rejoice in the land of his sojourning. And he celebrated a festival of joy in this month 7 days, near the altar which he had built at the well of the oath. And he built booths for himself and for his servants on this festival. And he was the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on the earth. And during these 7 days, he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 oxen, 2 rams, 7 sheep, 1 he goat, for a sin offering, that he might atone thereby for himself and for his seed. And as a thank offering, 7 rams, 7 kids, 7 sheep, and myself back in. Dang. Okay, something happened with my connection. Not sure when I was kicked out. Dang, that's not good. Hmm. Now I gotta grab the stream back too. Screen. Hold on, let's see. Stop cam, blah blah blah. Here we go. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Well, the last verse I remember reading was 25, but I don't know what I was able to hear. But I'm gonna just pick up at 25. We'll do it like that. I want to do a study. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch it up. Okay, so let's see. It says in 25, and he celebrated this feast during 7 days. Let me make sure everything is good. Hold on, let me make sure this microphone is. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure we got the right mic. I see the connection is still messing up. It's trying to get a good connection still. Okay. Um. So it says in 25, and he celebrated this feast during the 7 days. Oh, I think I read all that. I'll just read it again. During 7 days, rejoicing with all his heart and with all his soul, he and all those who were in his house. And there was no stranger with him, nor any that was uncircumcised. Interesting. And he blessed his creator who had created him in his generation. For he had created him according to his good pleasure. For he knew and perceived that from him would arise the plant of righteousness for the eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, so that it should become like him who had made all things. And he blessed and rejoiced, and he called the name of this festival the festival of the Lord, a joy acceptable to the Most High God. And we blessed him forever, and all his seed after him throughout all the generations of the earth, because he celebrated this festival in its season, according to the testimony of the heavenly tablets. For this reason, it is ordained on the heavenly tablets concerning Israel that they should celebrate the feast of the tabernacles, of tabernacles 7 days with joy. In the seventh month, acceptable before the Lord, a statute forever throughout their generations, forever. And to this there is no limit of days, for it is ordained forever regarding Israel that they should celebrate it and dwell in booths and set wreaths upon their heads. That's what the wreaths were for. People use wreaths now to put it on their doors for Christmas. Man. And then they also was using wreaths to put on, it was something about dead people, like they would put on graves or something. I can't remember. It was some custom they was doing. Let's keep going. So it says they set wreaths on their heads and take leafy boughs and willows from the brook. And Abraham took branches of palm trees and the fruit of the goodly trees, and every day going round the altar with the branches 7 times. In the morning, he praised and gave thanks to his God for all things in joy. Sounds good. Now, I don't know if you're still with me, Leon. Let me see what your question was, because that might have helped answer some of it. Leon asked, no, you just specifically said something in verse 6, but that was about feast, I think. Let's see. I'm going to just check it out real quick. We was on 17, though. I'm going to go back. I think it's feast related. You say 38. Let's see. For this reason I commanded. for a command, and testify to you that you may testify to them, for after your death, your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals. And they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Wait, you said through 41. It's only, wait a minute. Your question was um chapter 6, 38 to 41. There is no 41. Unless this had it all in there. Was this all you was talking about? Maybe maybe you mean 36 to 38? Mm-mm. Leon, you still there? Because if you still there is no 41 in this Book of Jubilees. It's only 38. Huh. Well, I'll keep reading chapter 17, but you see from what it said, they will mess up the calendar and go wrong as to when they should celebrate the feast, which I saw happening years ago. So, okay. All right, let's keep going. So we're on chapter 17. The intro, the intro gives you some cross references too, which is something I just caught. Okay. So it says in verse 1, and in the first year of the 5th week, Isaac was weaned in this Jubilee. And Abraham made a great banquet in the 3rd month, on the day of his son Isaac was weaned. And Ishmael the son of Hagar the Egyptian was before the face of Abraham his father in his place. And Abraham rejoiced and blessed God because he had seen his sons and had not died childless. And he remembered the words which he had spoken to him on the day on which Lot had parted from him. And he rejoiced because the Lord had given him seed on the earth to inherit, because the Lord had given. Oh, I already read that. My bad. I went back up and read the beginning of that verse. Sorry. So let me read that and keep going. It says, I'm gonna start after it says Lot had parted from him, and he rejoiced because the Lord had given him seed on the earth to inherit the earth, and he blessed with all his mouth the Creator of all things. And Sarah saw Ishmael playing and dancing, and Abraham rejoicing with great joy. And she became jealous of Ishmael and said to Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman will not be heir with my son Isaac. Okay, so this is another difference between Jasher and Jubilees. In the book of Jasher, it talks about how Ishmael was in a tent, I think, and he had a bow getting ready to shoot Isaac, and she didn't like that, so she told Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for he will not be heir with my son, or something like that. So it's a little different. Um, I just caught that. Now I didn't know this one before because I never read Jubilees this far. So um, I don't think I read this far. I gotta get some notes on it. Yeah, I'm gonna put this down in my Jubilees first Jasher section. Yeah, I got a section. These ain't the only books that go against each other, though. Some books I just don't talk about that go against each other, though. But they're good, though. I'll just try to give y'all some examples. We got Acts 29 that go against some of the letters of Pilate, like his death, Pilate's death. It's like 3 different accounts, and I don't know which one's true. One of them say he fell. I think Acts 29 say he fell at the end or somewhere in it, that he fell off a mountain headlong, died. The letters of Pilate, whichever books, some of them might be called Nicodemus, but in one of these books where it talks about Pilate's death, it says he was in prison. and he died. He was either killed with a sword or he got his head cut off, or it's like two different accounts on how he died. So in total, three different accounts how he died. Which is true, I don't know. So I just knew it was some differences in those books about Pilate's death. I don't know. Hmm. That's just one I don't talk about. But I remember that. And I didn't know which one to take. Like which one should I credit and not credit? Like, okay, which one? But they were both good. They were both good. So here we go. We got Jubilees and Jasher. We got this is 17 or 17, verse 4. Yeah. Now, I don't know where this is at in Jasher, but I know it's in there. Uh, but I'm gonna just put Jasher. I can try to find it. I don't know how fast it's gonna be. Let's see if I can find it. Um, I don't even think in Genesis it tells us why. Let's see. Sarah said this bondwoman. I'm gonna say Ishmael will not be heir with my son. We'll see. Because I know it's in Genesis, but I don't think Genesis really gives us it. I don't know. Genesis might have a whole different reason. In this passage, the Lord is telling Hagar, Genesis 21:10. Okay, okay. It looks like it's Genesis 21. So let me see. It might start at verse 9. Let me check this out. Isaac is born. Okay, okay. Let's see. Now in Genesis, according to the KJV, my microphone is a little bit far away. Kind of not that far away. But this is what it says in Genesis. You won't see this on the screen, but I'm gonna read it. Let me see if I need to go up any. Nope, nope. It starts right here. Okay, so verse 8, just so you get the context of where we at. It says, "And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned." Verse 9. In Genesis 21, it says, "And Sarah saw," I hit the button to go to the next chapter, my bad. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born to Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said to Abraham, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac." And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight. Okay, so let me put Genesis on here, which to me sounds different. Um, Genesis 21:9 through 10. Now I'm gonna see if I can find Jasher. Now I don't know. Mocking could mean it could be something deeper, but I haven't looked at that word in Hebrew. So let's see. Sarah. I'm gonna see what it can mean because that's just how they translated it. I don't know what it means in Hebrew. I don't know what all it can mean. So laugh, sport, play, mock. Okay, so these are some of the ways it's translated in the KJV. The meanings for it can mean to laugh, play, mock, to jest, make sport, toy with, make a toy of. uh, that's basically some of the meanings. I don't know if it really goes. Nah, that's pretty much it that I can see. So, leave. Hmm. Well, that's interesting though because that's what Isaac's name means, laughter. But I mean, and this is the Hebrew word for it. right there where it says mock. Well, mocking is let's see, Taza Chak or Tischak, which is the last part of Yatsachak, which is the whole word in Hebrew for Isaac. So it's just the last little bit for Isaac's name, which in itself can mean laugh, mock, play, stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna try to find this last little bit in Jasher if I can. If I can't, we're just gonna keep it. Well, real quick, I'm gonna see what other translations translate that word for mocking. I don't really need to, but I'll just check it out. Where's Bible Hub? Hmm. Other translations say it like this. Okay. Um, the NLT says, but Sarah saw Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and her Egyptian servant Hagar making fun of her son Isaac. That's how that one translates it. Um, Other ones say, I see the word scoffing in the New King James Version. Um, I still see mocking a lot. A lot of them say mocking, sporting, playing. Okay, look at this one. God's Word translation says, well, I mean, y'all can't see it, but it says Sarah saw that Abraham's son by Hagar the Egyptian was laughing at Isaac. I laugh at people all the time. Well, I mean, I wonder what was he doing. I don't know. I'm thinking what was Isaac doing that made him laugh, or was he just laughing at him for no reason? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Um, so that's basically it for those. Okay, I just want to check that out. Okay. All right. Now we got Jasher. See if I can find it. Jasher. Ishmael. Jasher chapter 21. 12. Okay, okay. Looks like we found it. That was not difficult. Okay, chapter 21, verse 12. Okay, so verse 11 says, and Ishmael, the son of Abraham, was grown up in those days. He was 14 years old when Sarah bare Isaac to Abraham, and God was with Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and he grew up and he learned to use the bow and became an archer. And when Isaac was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael at the door of the tent. And Ishmael came to Isaac and seated himself opposite to him. And he took the bow and drew it and put the arrow in it and intended to kill Isaac. And Sarah saw the act, which Ishmael desired to do to her son. And it grieved her exceedingly on account of her son. And she sent for Abraham and said to him, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for her son shall not be heir with my son. For thus did he seek to do to my son, or to him this day. And Abraham listened to the voice of Sarah. Okay, so from Jasher 21, 11 through 15. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out what should I call that. Uh, hmm. Ishmael. Isaac. Difference. Okay. Now this one, it ain't say nothing about laughing. Um, but got it. So let's get back to where I was. So Jasher Jubilees, chapter 17, after verse 4, it says, "And the thing was grievous in Abraham's sight because of his maid servant and because of his son, that he should drive them out from him. And God said to Abraham, let it not be grievous in your sight because of the child and because of the bondwoman. And all that Sarah hath said to you, listen to her words and do them. For in Isaac shall your name and seed be called. But as for the son of this bondwoman, I will make him a great nation, because he is of your seed." And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and placed them on the shoulders of Hagar and the child and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba, and the water in the bottle was spent. And the child thirsted and was not able to go on and fell down. And her mother took him and cast him under an olive tree and went and sat down over against him at the distance of her bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of my child. And as she sat, she wept. And an angel of God, one of the holy ones, said to her, why weepest thou, Hagar? Arise, take the child and hold him in your hand. For God hath heard your voice and have seen the child. And she opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled her bottle with water, and she gave her child to drink. And she arose and went towards the wilderness of Paran. And the child grew and became an archer, and God was with him. And his mother took him a wife from among the daughters of Egypt. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Nabaoth. For she said, the Lord was near to me when I called on him. Ooh, interesting. I like that. And it came to pass in the seventh week, in the first year thereof, in the first month of this Jubilee, on the 12th of this month, there were voices in heaven regarding Abraham that he was faithful in all that he told him, and that he loved the Lord, and that in every affliction he was faithful. And the prince of Mastebah, I was curious. I was curious. I thought this was coming. Here we go. And the prince of Mastebah came and said before God, behold, Abraham loves Isaac his son, and he delights in him above all things else. Bid him offer him as a burnt offering on the altar, and you will see if he will do this command. And you will know, I'm sorry, and you will know if he is faithful in everything wherein you do try him. Mm. And the Lord knew that Abraham was faithful in all his afflictions, for he had tried him through his country and with famine, and had tried him with the wealth of kings, and had tried him again through his wife. Ooh, that's different right there. That's different. It's just something that I never got to read. So that's good to see, because we need to see stuff like that, because we look at things we go through and might not see it this way. But famines, afflictions, moving from another city or state or country, these can all be trials from the Most High to see, are we going to turn our back on Him, or still trust and believe in the Most High and keep His commands and all that and be faithful. And, he was even tried with the wealth of kings. Abraham didn't take none of that money. Then we also get, he was tried through his wife. Remember, Abraham's wife was taken by two kings, the king of Egypt and I think the king of the Philistines. Oh, I could be wrong. It was another king. I think his name was Abimelech. Let's see what else it says. And when she was torn from him, and with and with circumcision, and had tried him through Ishmael and Hagar, his maidservant, when he sent them away, and in everything wherein he had tried him, he was found faithful, and his soul was not impatient, and he was not slow to act, for he was faithful and a lover of the Lord. That's good. Now, I think based on that, I think this book needs to be read. That's just not the only thing. I think for chapter 6, I think for chapter 17, those are valuable chapters to me. And there's other chapters too. Chapters about when the demons was 90% was left in hell or taken to hell and 10% was left on earth. I mean, there's stuff like that that's beneficial. And maybe others I just can't remember right now. Chapter 18, Book of Jubilees. Okay. All right, here we go. And God said to Abraham, and God said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take your beloved son, whom you love, even Isaac, and go to the high country and offer him on one of the mountains, which I will point out to you. And he arose early in the morning and saddled his ass and took his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood of the burnt offering. And he went to the place on the third day, and he saw the place afar off, and he came to a well of water, and he said to his young men, Abide you here with the ass, and I and the lad shall go yonder. And when we have worshipped, we shall come again to you. And he took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took in his hand the fire, excuse me, and the knife, and they went both of them together to that place. And Isaac said to his father, Father, and he said, Here am I, my son. And he said to him, Behold, the fire and the knife and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering, father? And he said, God will provide for himself a sheep for a burnt offering, my son. And he drew near to the place of the mount of God. And he built an altar, and he placed the wood on the altar, and bound Isaac his son, and placed him on the wood which was on the altar, and stretched forth his hand to take the knife to kill Isaac his son. And I stood before him, and before the prince Mastima, and the Lord said, Bid him not to lay his hand on the lad, nor to do anything to him, for I have shown that that he fears the Lord. And I called to him from heaven and said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he was terrified and said, Behold, here am I. And I said to him, Lay not your hand on the lad, neither do you anything to him. For now I have shown that you fear the Lord, and have not withheld your son, your firstborn, from me. And the prince Mastima was put to shame. Oh man, that's funny. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a ram caught, missing fragments, by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called that place, The Lord have seen, so that it is said, In the mount of the Lord have seen. That is Mount Zion. Oh, wow. They know that. That's deep right there. And the Lord called Abraham by his name a second time from heaven, as he caused us to appear to speak to him in the name of the Lord. And he said, By myself I have sworn, saith the Lord, because you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your beloved son, from me, that in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your seed shall inherit the cities of its enemies, and in your seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice, and I have shown to all that you are faithful to me in all that I have said to you. Go in peace. And Abraham went to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt by the well of the oath. And he celebrated this festival every year, 7 days with joy. And he called it the festival of the Lord according to the 7 days, during which he went and returned in peace. And accordingly and accordingly has it been ordained and written on the heavenly tablets reading regarding Israel and his seed, that they should observe this festival 7 days with joy, with the joy of this festival. 19. The Book of Jubilees, chapter 19. Okay. It says, and in the first year of the first week, in the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is, Kirjath Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first year of the third week of this Jubilee, the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished, and she died in Hebron. And Abraham went to mourn over her and bury her, and we tried him to see if his spirit were patient and he were not indignant in the words of his mouth. And he was found patient in this and was not disturbed. For in patience of spirit he conversed with the children of Heth to the intent that they should give him a place in which to bury his dead. And the Lord gave him grace before all who saw him. And he besought in gentleness the sons of Heth, the sons of Heth, the sons of Heth, and they gave him the land of the double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, we shall give it to you for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money in full, and he bowed down before them twice. And after this, he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years. I just want to check something because I haven't read this far. So, Sarah died 127 years. Oh, I just want to see if Genesis is the same as this. Okay, yeah. Because I don't compare numbers a lot with Jubilees in the Bible. So I have done it with Jasher because I read Jasher, but not Jubilees as much. So, because I know some numbers in Jasher are off. Anyway, let's see. It says in 7 that in all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years. By the way, that's the same thing Genesis says in Genesis 23:1. Same thing. 127 years. Let me see. The verse says, let me get the whole verse. It says Sarah lived to be 127 years old. Yep. Okay. So back to Jubilee 7. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years. That is 2 Jubilees and 4 weeks and 1 year. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial wherewith Abraham was tried, and he was found faithful, patient in spirit. And he said not a single word regarding the rumor in the land, how that God had said that he would give it to him and to his seed after him. And he begged a place there to bury his dead, for he was found faithful and was recorded on the heavenly tablets as the friend of God. And in the 4th year thereof, he took a wife for his son Isaac, and her name was Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, the sister of Laban, and daughter of Bethuel. And Bethuel was the son of Milcah, who was the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a third wife, and her name was Keturah, from among the daughters of his household servants. For Hagar had died before Sarah. Dang, okay. I don't think I knew that, but okay. And she bare him 6 sons, and Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua in the 2 weeks of years, and in the 6th week, in the 2nd year of, thereof, Rebekah bare to Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy. And Jacob dwelt in tents. Now, I like this description. It doesn't call Esau red, and give people an idea that he was white or anything like that. It just says he was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy. Simple. Then it goes on to say, and the youths grew, and Jacob learned to write. But Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learnt war. And all his deeds were fierce. And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called. And he called Rebekah and gave commandment regarding Jacob, for he knew that she too loved Jacob much more than Esau. And he said to her, my daughter, watch over my son Jacob, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I know that the Lord will choose him to be a people for possession to himself, above all peoples that are on the face of the earth. And behold, Isaac my son loves Esau more than Jacob, but I see that you truly love Jacob, and still further to your kindness to him. Um, then it says, and let your eyes be on him in love, for he shall be a blessing to us on the earth from henceforth to all generations of the earth. Let your hands be strong, and let your heart rejoice in your son Jacob, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. Excuse me. He shall be blessed forever, and his seed shall fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also shall be numbered. And all the blessings wherewith the Lord hath blessed me, and my seed shall belong to Jacob, and his seed always. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my father Shem, and Noab, and Enoch. That's a typo. Noab? Noah. Anyway, Shem and Noah and Enoch and Mahalalel and Enos and Seth and Adam. All these shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven and to strengthen the earth and to renew all the luminaries which are in the firmament. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Rebekah his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Jacob, my beloved son, whom my soul loved, may God bless you from above the firmament. I like that. And may he give you all the blessings wherewith he blessed Adam and Enoch and Noah. Now they say Noah. Okay. With the H, by the way, with the H. The last time it said Noab. But anyway, let's keep going. And Shem, and all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me, may he cause to cleave to you and to your seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the spirits of Mastemah shall not rule over you or over your seed to turn you from the Lord. That's what I'm talking about. who is your God from henceforth forever. And may the Lord God be a father to you, and you the firstborn son. Ha! Let me back up, read this again. And may the Lord God be a father to you, and you the firstborn son, and to the people always. Interesting. I just think it's interesting to read because there's some people that think um, very, very differently about the firstborn son of God as humans. They think it's Israel, and they don't think about it um, in other ways. But that's just how they think about it. They don't think about the actual firstborn person or the other sons of God. They just think about Israel. It's just kind of they need to open their mind up a little bit. But anyway, let's keep going. So after it says, I'm gonna read 29 and keep going. And may the Lord God be a father to you, and you the firstborn son, and to the people always. Go in peace, my son. And they both went forth together from Abraham, and Rebekah loved Jacob with all her heart and with all her soul, very much more than Esau. But Isaac loved Esau much more than Jacob. Okay. And I think that was chapter 19. Let me make sure. Yeah, 19. So far, I mean, I think it's interesting information. I see it beneficial, even though it clashes at times with Jasher. It may even be a little bit different at times than the Old Testament. But let's keep going. Chapter 20. And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael and his 12 sons, and Isaac and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah. Okay, Genesis 25. Anyway, and their sons. And he commanded them that they should observe the way of the Lord, that they should work righteousness and love each other. And love each his neighbor, and act on this manner amongst all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them as to do judgment and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right hand or to the left of all the paths which the Lord had commanded us, and that we should keep ourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and renounce from amongst us all fornication and uncleanness. And if any woman or maid commit fornication amongst you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes and their heart, and let them not take to themselves wives from the daughters of Canaan, for the seed of Canaan will be rooted out of the land. Okay, well, that makes sense. And he told them of the judgment of the giants and the judgment of the Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their fornication and uncleanness, and mutual corruption through fornication. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin. Mm, Let me read that again. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin, lest you make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons be destroyed by the sword, and you become a curse like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Gomorrah. I implore you, my sons, love the God of heaven, and cleave you to all his commandments, and walk not after their idols, and after their uncleannesses, and make not for yourselves molten or graven images. Graven gods. Sorry about that. For they are vanity, and there is no spirit in them. For they are work of men's hands, and all who trust in them trust in nothing. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve you, the Most High God, and worship him continually, and hope for his countenance always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you, and grant you his mercy, and send rain on you morning and evening, and bless all your works which you have wrought on the earth, and bless your bread and your water. Nice. And bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, and the herds of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep. And you will be for a blessing on the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you. And bless your sons in my name. Whose name? Abraham. That they may be blessed as I am. Interesting. That's a verse that stands out. That's verse 10, Jubilees 20. Yeah, I'm writing a note, bless. Okay, got it. So it says, I'm gonna read 10 again and keep going. And you will be for a blessing on the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you, and bless your sons in my name, that they may be blessed as I am. And he gave to Ishmael and to his sons and to the sons of Keturah gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son. And he gave everything to Isaac his son, and Ishmael and his sons, and the sons of Keturah and their sons went together and dwelt from Paran to the entering in of Babylon, and all the land which is towards the east, facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their name was called Arabs and Ishmaelites. Mhm. That's the chapter I have read in the past a few times, but now from on down, I don't know what this book finna say. From chapter 14 to 19 and from 21 to the end, I don't know what this book finna say. Oh, here we go. I tell you what, most I willing, I'm gonna be here to find out. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we got 21. It says, verse 1, and in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Isaac his son. If y'all hear noise, it's because my neighbors is over there moving in or moving out. I think they moving out. Actually, I got a neighbor moving in and a neighbor moving out. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to read it again. It says, and in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Isaac his son. What the heck is that? I don't know. Hold on. Check it out. It stopped now. Okay, good. All right. It might come back. We'll see. So it says, and in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called his son, well, Isaac, his son, and commanded him, saying, I am become old, and know not the day of my death, and am full of my days. And behold, I am 175 years old. And throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Lord, and sought with all my heart to do his will, and to walk uprightly in all his ways. Now, I would ask people that verse right there, which I'm probably not going to remember, but while it's on my mind, what's wrong with that? Because people would say, or they might think or say stuff like, why should we read the Book of Jubilees? Or whatever thoughts they might have or think about the book. But when you read a verse like this, what's wrong with it? I don't see a problem. So Let me see what's going on. And they stopped now. Ain't that something? At least for them. So yeah, that was a good one for me. Okay, did I read all that verse? I saw him with I don't know if I read it all. Let me see. Verse 2. And behold, I am 175 years old, and throughout all the days of my life I have remembered the Lord and sought with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways. And I think you need a partner like this. Whoever you marry or think about marrying, if you got a partner like that that's going to remember the Lord all their days and be upright, let's see what it says. He says, and throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Lord. That's one. And sought with all my heart to do his will. That's two. And to walk uprightly in all his ways. Three. If you can find a partner like that, I think you're good. Let's keep going. I should get that one. I'm gonna put this. That's a marriage note right there. Hold on. Got a little marriage note going on too. So this is Jubilees. I think 21 maybe. 21 to me that goes along with Genesis 17:1. Okay. Verse 3. My soul has hated idols. Mine too. And I have excuse me. And I have despised those that serve them. And I have given my heart and spirit that I might observe to do the will of him who created me. For he is the living God, and he is holy and faithful, and he is righteous beyond all. And there is with him no accepting of men's persons, and no accepting of gifts, for God is righteous, and execute judgment on all those who transgress his commandments and and despise his covenant. And do you, my son, observe his commandments and his ordinances and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations and after the graven images and after the molten images, and eat no blood at all of animals or cattle, or of any bird which flies in the heaven. Now, the fact that he would even mention this means you could eat those things. I mean, I'm just saying, it wouldn't even be in here if you couldn't. That would make no sense. So they had to be eating them. But let's keep going. Then it says, and if you do kill a victim as an acceptable peace offering, slay you it and pour out its blood on the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour, and the meal offering mingled with oil, with its drink offering, offer them all together on the altar of burnt offering. It is a sweet savor before the Lord. And you will offer the fat of the sacrifice of thank offerings. I thought I was going to say Thanksgiving, of thank offerings on the fire which is on the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat on the inwards, and the two kidneys, and all the fat that is on them, and on the loins and liver you shall remove, together with the kidneys, and offer all these for a sweet savor acceptable before the Lord, with its meat offering and with its drink offering for a sweet savor, the bread of the offering to the Lord. And eat its meat on that day and on the second day, and let not the sun on the second day go down on it till it is eaten. And let nothing be left over for the third day, for it is not acceptable, and let it no longer be eaten, and all who eat thereof will bring sin on themselves. For thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers. Oh, now look at this. According to this is talking about books written before. Well, this was about Abraham. So if Abraham's writing this, well, Abraham I don't think wrote this, but I think Moses wrote this or somebody else. But whoever wrote it, talking about other books. Now I'm gonna try to write this down somewhere because I done read a lot of places where it talks about Enoch and other writings. I've seen it so many times. Enoch cross references. Okay. So we got Jubilees 21:10. Let me read the whole thing now. It says, "For thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers, and in the words of Enoch, and in the words of Noah, and on all your oblations you shall screw salt, and let not the salt of the covenant be lacking in all your oblations before the face, before the Lord. And as regards to, well, it doesn't say to, and as regards the wood of sacrifices, beware lest you bring other wood from the altar in addition to these: cypress, bay, almond, fir, pine, cedar, savin, fig, olive, myrrh, laurel, and aspalathus. And of these kinds of wood lay on the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested as to their appearance, and do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean without fault, and a sound and new growth, and do not lay thereon old wood, for its fragrance is gone." Okay. "For there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that you shall place on the altar, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance goes not up to heaven." Okay. "Observe this commandment and do it, my son, that you may be upright in all your deeds." That's funny. "And at all times be clean in your body, and wash yourself with water before you approach to offer on the altar. And wash your hands and your feet before you draw near to the altar. And when you are done sacrificing, wash again your hands and your feet. And let no blood appear on you, nor on your clothes. Be on your guard, my son, against blood. Be on your guard exceedingly, cover it with dust. And do not eat any blood, for it is the soul. Eat no blood whatsoever." Well, whatever. And then it says, "And take no gifts for the blood of men, uh, lest it be shed with impunity, without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin. And the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man except by the blood of him who shed it. Mm. And take no present or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that you may be accepted before the Lord, the Most High God. For he is the defense of the good, and that you may be preserved from all evil, and that he may save you from every kind of death. I see, my son, that all went down to my, I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness and an abomination and a pollution, and there is no righteousness with them. Beware lest you should walk in their ways, and tread in their paths, and sin a sin to death before the Most High God. Else he will hide his face from you, give you back into the hands of your transgression, and root you out of the land, and your seed likewise from under heaven. and your name and your seed shall perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness. Well, uncleanness. Yeah, that's how it says. And observe the ordinance of the Most High God, and do His will, and be upright in all things. And He will bless you in all your deeds. That's what I'm talking about. And will raise up from you a plant of righteousness through the earth, through all the earth, throughout all generations of the earth. And my name and your name shall not be forgotten under heaven forever. That's what I'm talking about. Go in peace. Go, my son, in peace. May the Most High God, may God and your God. Oh, I left out mine, my bad. May the Most High God, my God, and your God strengthen you to do His will. And may He bless all your seed and the residue of your seed forever. Well, for the generations forever. With all righteous blessings, that you may be a blessing on all the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. I messed up a lot in that chapter. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so that was the end of chapter 21 in Jubilees. Oh, man. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read. Let me see how long that took me. It's about the same. It's about the same time. Okay, so we got Zeke the Hebrew who left me a comment saying, Shalom Hebrew, what's your Facebook? I don't know if you still here, but it's Yahoyada. That's my Facebook right there. And I got two of them. So either one you find is me. So if you find one that has on a green shirt, that's me. If you find one that has on I think I got on a red shirt and the other one, that's me. Same. So you can add either one. Doesn't matter. What's going on, Jen? I see you say hello, but when you said it, I was reading. I couldn't see anything. At home with Jen. So I don't know who's all with me, but hello to whoever's with me. And I read chapters 15 through 21? Yeah, from the Book of Jubilees. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was bad. There was some interesting stuff in there. Some differences between Genesis and Jasher. Slight differences, but some maybe major. It kind of reminds me of what the scholars do. They read these books and then they got the differences. Mm. So I'm thinking. Let me look at okay, it's 50 chapters total. It'll probably take me 4 more days to read all of the Book of Jubilees. Because let's see, we got 22 through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's one day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. Yeah, about 4 more days. So I guess, yeah, so like in a month, I'll be finished with this. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, I'm thinking about also adding in another a day while I do like videos and stuff like that. I see you, Jen. I see you. hmm I'm just gonna mess around with some of this stuff. Guess. Guess. See viewers' comments. Play a sound when guest enters. Guess what's no. Guess banners. Oh, band. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can have it to where record a separate. No. Automatically add. No, yeah. That's not what I wanted to see. Okay, Jen, I'm gonna try something. I was trying this earlier, but it didn't go how I wanted it to go. I might not be able to do it. It says show. Okay, Jen, can you type in something real quick? I'm gonna type in something too. Okay, I typed hello, but nothing popped up. StreamYard live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example on a comment. I hear something. I don't know if that's thunder. Whoa. Dang, hold on 1 minute. I don't know. It could have been thunder. I don't know. Mm-mm. How's your day? Okay, so when you said how's your day, it didn't pop up at the bottom of the screen. So I was trying to see how that works because StreamYard is crazy. And the only way I can get it to show up is to hit show like this. That's so weird. Do you see that, Jen? Your comment down there where it says how's your day? It won't show up unless I hit how's your day. That's so weird. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Strange. It's good though. Now I typed in my comment. My comment don't show up on the screen. I have to hit show. That's so weird. I don't know why it does that. So weird. Oh well. I was just trying to test this out, see how it would work. Jen says, yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's weird. I'm trying to put user in timeout. They got this thing I just found out today where you can put a user in timeout. I've never even seen it before because I don't even like mess with that, but that's good to see in case somebody getting out of line. I haven't had that to the degree, like people getting out of line. I just let people talk. That's funny. Oh well. So Jen, what you think? You think I should talk about investing? I'm thinking about doing a day where I talk about investing, or oh, so that is thunder. Okay, okay. I was like, is that thunder? Can you hear it? I know you can hear it, right? Yeah, it's thunder. I was like, is that thunder? Wasn't sure at first, but then I was like, you say time out. What you mean? Hmm? What you talking about? You laughing too. You be laughing a lot. What you laughing at? The thunder? What you laughing at? I'll be right back. Hold on. While I wait. Okay, I see it coming. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, it was loud. That thunder, yeah. Boom! Just made me think about a lightning bolt. Boom! Them things be doing some damage. Yeah, ain't no joke. um, I thought you were hungry. I am getting hungry, but I got like two things in here to eat. I've been learning to put my phone on the floor. Hear that vibrate again. I'm gonna mute it. That's what I'm gonna do. I figured out how to mute it finally. I've been getting used to it. So I don't have to deal with that. You heard that loud vibrate? Stuff be getting on my nerves. There go the thunder again. Bam. Okay, so I got it on silent. Okay, Jen, look, I got a question. You know, I should leave. I did actually. I got two things I want to talk about. Three, maybe more, but definitely three. I want to talk about how to get your credit score in the 700s, and I want to talk about investing, and I want to talk about the the things the Most High did for me. Bam! Them the three I want to talk about, but I got to figure out another day to do it. And I'm thinking Thursday, Tuesday, Saturday, Thursday. Because Tuesday and Saturday I'm doing reading Jasher and Jubilee, so Thursday would be like a decent day for me to do it. I just dropped this thing that I had to show you. So these right here, these pickles right here, I just found out they don't have preservatives in it like the regular pickles from Mount Island. That's what that's the difference. Where it say simply pickles from Mount Olives, I was like, what's the difference? Because I looked at the ingredients and I was reading each one, comparing them. One of the only differences I saw was where on the regular one it say preservatives. They got preservatives in there, and this one don't. It's something else the other one got too that this one don't have. But I was like, oh, okay, okay. No, no, no. It was it natural flavors? Nope, this one got natural flavors too. I wish that wasn't in here, but whatever. It's a little bit better. It's a step up. I've been finding out stuff like that. Okay, cool, cool. I've been finding out stuff like that on food and oh, you know what? I gotta get ready to get out of here, but I've been reading stuff like on ice cream and why the main brands or the cheaper ice cream, why is it cheaper versus the small little like cups of ice cream? They give you a tiny little bit, but it's healthier than the bigger ones because the bigger ones they got stuff in it like natural flavors and preservatives and stuff. I'm like, well, oh, that's why. I'm like, why y'all gotta do all that? Because I be wanting to get some ice cream, but I see stuff in it that I don't like. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just starting to notice that a little more because before I was just getting ice cream. I didn't care what was in it as long as it ain't have aspartame in it. But now I'm looking at natural flavors and preservatives and stuff like that. I didn't even know. I didn't even think about that. That's just wasn't even thinking about it. Well, I better get out of here. You got any questions for me, Jen, before I go? Cause you got this thunderstorm over here, you know, thundering every now and then. I don't know when it's gonna thunder. It just comes and goes. You might hear one of them big old, you know how you hear that loud noise from like a lightning bolt coming or just loud, loud thunder. You might hear one of them. It might be one of the real good thunderstorms. Mhm. Cheaper and smaller is better and quality of ice cream. Yeah, that's what it appears. And I'm thinking, like, do I want to spend $5 on a little small pint of ice cream just to eat some ice cream? I could, but I just didn't think that's what I would have to do. But that's kind of what it might come to. So I'm in North Carolina. They do consider it a part of the South, even though they call it North Carolina. I don't know why they would call it North Carolina and then consider a part of the South. I'm just saying. Just saying. That's stupid that they did that. Is blue skies here in Cali? It look like it's gonna storm outside where I'm at. That's what it looked like. Yup. Oh, oh. Besides those pickles, though, I got the sandwich slice pickles, and I got apple pie, and they put a lot of stuff in this pie. I don't even think I should read what they put in this pie because it might stop. It might stop me from eating it, I'm telling you. But this is one of the only pies I can eat, though. I'm telling you, they got so much stuff in here. It's like a whole paragraph of stuff they got in here. I see yeast. They probably got, is that preservative? They got preservatives in here too. Look at that. So sad. I'm gonna have to find me another apple pie now. See, just that fast. Just that fast. They got moderated. I mean, they got modified food starch. That's genetically modified stuff in my apple pie. See, I don't be reading this stuff. I just be getting stuff to eat. Can't even do that. Tell you, I'm gonna eat that pie. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna eat that pie. But see, I might have to start buying higher apple pies. I'm gonna have to compare it with the fresh market pies because the fresh market. I don't know if you have one down there, but I think they might do it. I'm gonna have to check that. I'm gonna check the ingredients on that. See what's going on. You say don't read it or you won't eat it. Don't read. Oh, I'm gonna eat it. No, I'm gonna eat that. I'm just gonna try to do better after I eat it. Cause like I didn't know um those pickles I had like last week. I had the regular amount olive pickles, the sandwich slices. That was with preservatives in it. And I noticed the difference in color too. They had yellow five in it too. This one don't have yellow five in it. That's another thing it don't have. So I noticed the difference when it don't have yellow five. It's a little bit lighter in color. Because you know, cucumbers are we know the color of cucumbers. It looked just like cucumbers. They didn't um, use the yellow five to make it change color a little bit. So that was good. Um, yeah, I just gotta try to keep looking for more natural stuff where they don't put all this crap in here. It's crazy the stuff they be doing. It made me want to do a video about this, how they plan to put preservatives in food, like in the 1990s. Like they've been planning to do this, and they put it in cartoons probably before they started doing it. I was looking at this today. Earlier, I had wrote this down. Um, I don't know when I'm gonna do it. It's from this cartoon called Darkwing Duck. It was released. Well, release date was September 6, 1991, and it's 3 seasons that I know of. And I wrote this Saturday, um, May 9th, 2020, at 3:41 p.m. I was watching season one, and in season one of the first episodes, it it said a minute and 10 seconds through a minute and 30 seconds. It's 20 seconds that this clip comes in where it talks about how. Let's see. I'm gonna read my notes and see if it makes sense. Okay, it says if his research is successful someday, we'll get our nutrition just like plants. We'll be able to snack on sunlight. There's no money in nutrition. It's not quality, it's quantity. You see, bigger food means bigger profits. So let me stop right there. So they was saying like in the cartoon at this point, where he said bigger food means bigger profits. On the screen, they was injecting a potato with something and it was making it bigger. We seen stuff like that where they inject shrimp and chicken to make it bigger. According to them, in this clip, it was saying, where was it at? Where was it at? It says, you see, bigger food means bigger profits, and bigger profits mean money, money, money. Like that's literally what they said in the cartoon. They said it 3 times. And then as they was, well, let me go back to real life. Okay, we use scales to weigh stuff. Like chicken is bought by weight a lot of times. And if they inject the chicken or shrimp to make it bigger, where they can make more money because it weighs more. So that's how Jen says, hold on, don't read it or you won't. Okay, I read that. That will be a good video to do on preservatives. Wow. They said that in the cartoon. Yeah, they said it. And this was something like when I was little, I used to watch that cartoon, Darkwing Duck, but I never, you know, as a kid, I wouldn't have caught that, I don't think, anyway. But when I went back as an adult and watched this, like around May 9th, 2020, now that the Most High gave me wisdom, and I was like, man, they put this in this cartoon. I never even knew. So they was planning this a long time ago. This was 1991 that this was released, so they've been planning this for a while. But the rest of it says the scene shows. Now, this is more information on the scene. It says the scene shows two scientists in a lab injecting a potato, making it grow bigger. As they said, bigger food means bigger profits. This is what they did with chickens. And episode two, it got something. It got preservatives in it. Like that one didn't have preservatives in it, but episode two does. It talks about how they was gonna put preservatives in food, but I didn't get to write that information down. So that cartoon is a trip, and I wanted to do videos on it and get like little small clips from the video because I can't take too much of the video and put it on YouTube without getting sued or something. So I would just take little clips, show the main part, then put it on YouTube and just show people that they've been planning this for a long time. Now we got it. And now we're starting to see, sadly, that a lot of companies are starting to take it back out. So, yeah, that's what we're seeing now. Pickles got natural flavors and preservatives in it. Like, why? And yellow five. Like, apple pie. My apple pie got preservatives in it. Like, why? It's ridiculous. They got modified food starch in it. Like, they all change. Talk about brainwashing kids at a young age. Yeah, but kids, I don't think we as kids would have understood. You got to be a smart kid or something to understand stuff like that. But I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. Because if a kid was to see it, they would think that's normal and just eat what they was given. Like nothing was wrong with it. Yeah. I ain't think about it like that until just now. But as a kid, I just don't think we would have caught it. Like a lot of us probably wouldn't have caught it. Would have just watched that cartoon and just went outside to play or something after that. Cause that's like it was a lot of crazy stuff going on in the cartoon The X-Men too. It was a lot of satanic stuff I seen when I went back and watched it, but I didn't notice it when I was growing up. When they used to show this on Saturdays in the mornings or whenever. I ain't never noticed all this stuff. Like to me, X-Men the movie versus the cartoon is it has way more satanic messages in it than the movies. Way more. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here though, Jen. I'm gonna end the video and I'll be back soon. Thanks for joining me though. Thanks for your input too on all those topics that I can be doing. I'm gonna be trying to figure out ways to do this and get this done easier. All right, Jen. Talk to you later, most high willing. And peace be to the saints, all of y'all. All right, you too, Jen.